You're listening to the Telltale Podcast. Don't forget to check me out on all social media, on Patreon, on Teespring, and on Etsy. All links can be found on my website, telltaleatheist.com, or in the podcast's description.
Hey, how do you feel about the Bible maybe being just a guide to healthy living that people took way too seriously? Don't eat pig meat. Don't eat pig meat. A lot of unchecked sex leading to a lot of unchecked diseases. Just a lot of basic stuff people knew intuitively. Thanks.
This one was actually kind of confusing to me at first because the translation or the transcription or whatever for the voicemail was really piss poor. Like the service I use for the voicemail thing transcribes it into text for me, and it was just confusing the hell out of me, that the transcription was. So I turned the transcription off and just listened to it really closely and typed it down myself. So this is what I got. How do you feel about the Bible maybe just being a guide to healthy living that people just took way too seriously? Like, don't eat pig meat, unprotected sex, diseases, just a lot of basic stuff that you know intuitively. The reason that, for example, pork is banned in Judaism, for example, in the Old Testament, is because during the lives of the people who were recording the Old Testament, or during the lives of the people who were experiencing the Old Testament, basically, the rabbis were also the doctors in that culture. And so they imposed a lot of restrictions on culture and society that was based on things that they saw happening that they didn't really have an explanation for. They saw that people got sick a lot more often when they ate pork, for example, rather than any other type of meat. The reason for that, we know now, is because you have to cook pork more thoroughly than other meats a lot of the time, because the bacteria and other things, it's just harder to kill in pork. So the restrictions, like the dietary restrictions in Judaism, largely revolve around the fact that the rabbis were also the doctors, and they saw people getting ill and were trying to prevent illness from spreading, basically. So as far as the question goes, maybe the Bible is just a guide to healthy living that people took way too seriously. The Bible was written as a divine book in a lot of cases. I mean, there are 66 books in the Bible, and each one has its own basically different aim or goal or message behind it. So I guess you can't really lump them all in together, but a lot of the books in the Bible were just parts of guides to healthy living for the time, for things that people understood to be the case at the time, even though they were misinformed because they didn't understand germs or anything like that.